Ever wondered why some people seem to always get ahead while others struggle to make ends meet? It's all about mindset. In this video, we're unpacking the mindset divide to reveal the secrets of the rich that the poor don't know. You'll learn why setting financial goals matters, how to build wealth, and why some people focus on security while others take bold risks. It's not just about having money, it's about knowing what to do with it. We're going to cover everything from budgeting and investing to building a positive attitude toward money. The rich seem to have all the answers. But guess what? You can learn those secrets too. If you're ready to bridge that mindset divide, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. All right, let's get started. First, let's talk about financial goal setting. This is where it all begins, right? If you don't know what you're aiming for, how can you make a plan to get there? Setting goals is like giving yourself a map. Without it, you're just wandering around, hoping you end up somewhere good. So how do you set financial goals that actually work? Start by thinking about what you really want. It could be owning a house, paying off all your debt, or saving up for a dream vacation. Write it down, be specific, and give it a timeline. If your goal is too vague, like I want to save more money, it's easy to lose focus. But if you say, I want to save $5,000 in 6 months for a new car, now you've got something to aim for. Once you have your goal, you need a plan. Think about what you need to do to make it happen. Do you need to cut back on expenses? Pick up a side gig? Sell stuff you don't use? There are lots of ways to reach your goals, but you need to commit and stay consistent. And here's a tip. Make sure your goals are realistic. If you set goals that are too ambitious, you'll get discouraged. But if you aim too low, you won't push yourself enough. Find that sweet spot where it's challenging, but doable. The key is to start small and build from there. Once you achieve one goal, set another, and keep the momentum going. It's all about taking steps in the right direction and sticking to your plan. Let's talk about the difference between building wealth and just being financially secure. It's like comparing going on an adventure versus staying in your comfort zone. Financial security is about making sure you have enough to get by, things like a steady paycheck, a safety net for emergencies, and insurance to protect what you have. It's about avoiding risk and playing it safe. But building wealth? That's a whole different game. It's like creating a system that keeps working for you, even when you're not actively putting in the hours. Wealthy people are usually thinking about how to grow their money, not just hold on to it. They look for opportunities to invest, whether it's in real estate, stocks, or starting their own business. The idea is to create multiple streams of income so they're not just relying on one source. It's kind of like planting a garden. If you only have one plant, you're at risk if it doesn't grow or get sick. But if you have a whole garden with different types of plants, you're more likely to have a bountiful harvest. Wealthy people diversify, while those focused on security might stick to a single job or one type of investment. So, when you're thinking about your financial future, ask yourself, are you playing not to lose, or are you playing to win? Both approaches have their place, but if you want to build wealth, you need to start taking some calculated risks and looking for ways to make your money work for you. It's all about finding the right balance and stepping out of that comfort zone. Now let's talk about budgeting and expense tracking. If there's one thing that can make or break your financial health, it's having a budget. It's like having a map. You wouldn't set off on a road trip without knowing where you're going, right? The same goes for your money. The rich understand this, and it's one of the key secrets of the rich that the poor don't know. When you budget, you're telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. A simple way to get started is by listing all your sources of income, then tracking your expenses. And by tracking, I mean everything: rent, groceries, coffee, Netflix, even that late-night impulse buy on Amazon. This way, you can see patterns and spot any unnecessary spending. It's the little things that add up, and that's often what creates the divide between having money and living paycheck to paycheck. Once you've got a handle on your expenses, you can start making informed decisions about where to cut back or save. Think of it as taking control of your money instead of letting it control you. This is where the mindset divide comes into play. It's a shift in thinking from scarcity to abundance. When you're in control, You can focus on building wealth, which is one of the big secrets of the rich. So budgeting and expense tracking may not sound glamorous, but they're fundamental. Start small, be consistent, and watch how quickly you gain clarity and confidence with your money. I hope this video is useful for you. If you want more videos like this, please comment video, and I'll keep making them. Now, let's talk about debt management. Yeah, that word can send a shiver down your spine, right? But here's the thing, debt isn't always bad. It depends on how you manage it. Good debt is like an investment in your future. Think student loans or a mortgage. Bad debt, though, is the kind that drains your bank account with high interest rates, like some credit cards or payday loans. So how do you deal with debt without letting it control your life? Well, there are a few strategies you can use. One popular method is the debt snowball. It's when you pay off your smallest debt first, then use that momentum to tackle the next one. It's great for building confidence and staying motivated. On the flip side, the debt avalanche is about focusing on the debt with the highest interest rate first, which can save you more money in the long run. It's all about what works for you. Here's a story that might inspire you. Mark Cuban, the billionaire owner of the Dallas Mavericks, wasn't always rich. In fact, when he was just starting out, he had to work his way up from pretty much nothing. At one point, he was sleeping on friends' couches and living on cheap food. But what did he do with his debts? He paid them off as quickly as possible, focusing on eliminating high-interest credit card debt. By doing this, he freed up cash to start his first business, which eventually led to the success we know today. It just goes to show that with the right plan and mindset, you can turn things around even when debt seems overwhelming. All right, let's talk about investing for the future. When you think about investing, it might seem complicated or risky, but it's actually one of the best ways to grow your wealth over time. Here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine you plant a tree today. It takes time to grow, but in a few years, it starts bearing fruit. Investing works the same way. The earlier you start, the more you can enjoy the rewards later on. One of the coolest things about investing is compound interest. This is when the money you earn from your investment starts to earn more money. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. The more it rolls, the bigger it gets. So if you start investing even a small amount now, it can grow into something much bigger in the future. A great tip for investing is to pay yourself first. This means setting aside a portion of your paycheck for investments before you spend it on anything else. Think of it like planting those seeds for your financial future. It's a simple habit that can make a big difference over time. Now I get it, investing can feel overwhelming. That's why it's important to educate yourself and maybe even get some advice from a financial advisor. They'll help you understand the different options, like stocks, bonds, or real estate, and find the best approach for your situation. Just remember, investing is a long-term game, so be patient and stay consistent. The results might surprise you. Now let's dive into financial literacy resources. If you're looking to improve your money smarts, you're in luck. There are tons of great resources to help you out. Books, websites, and apps can make financial education way less boring and way more practical. Let's start with books. If you want something that's both inspiring and educational, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins is fantastic. It breaks down complex financial topics in a way that's easy to understand. Plus, it's full of stories and examples that make it feel more like a conversation with a wise friend. Websites are another awesome resource. A personal favorite is The Motley Fool. It's got articles on everything from beginner investing to retirement planning, and it's written in a way that's not intimidating. If you're into podcasts, check out The Dave Ramsey Show. Ramsey's style is straight talking and no nonsense, which is great if you like your advice with a side of tough love. And don't forget about apps. They're like your financial Swiss Army knife. Mint is perfect for budgeting and tracking expenses. It's super easy to use, and you can connect it to your bank accounts to get a real-time look at your spending. Another cool app is Stash. It lets you start investing with just a few bucks, so you don't have to be rich to get started. The point is, there's a ton of information out there. Whether you prefer reading, listening, or using your smartphone, you can find something that fits your style, so pick one and start exploring. The more you learn, the better you'll be at managing your money. Now, Let's dive into a crucial mindset shift: the abundance mentality versus the scarcity mentality. This is one of those secrets that the rich understand, but the poor often don't know. It's like the difference between seeing the world as a place full of opportunities and seeing it as a place where resources are limited. With an abundance mentality, you look around and see potential. You think, how can I make this work? Or what can I create from this? It's a mindset that invites creativity, cooperation, and even generosity. The rich often view competition as a chance to grow, not as a threat. They believe there's enough for everyone to succeed. On the other hand, a scarcity mentality can trap you. It's that feeling when you worry that there's never enough to go around. You might think, if they succeed, I can't. It's a mindset of fear and limitation. People with a scarcity mentality often hold on to things tightly because they're afraid to lose them. But here's the thing. This kind of thinking can actually keep you from finding new opportunities. So in the mindset divide, the secrets of the rich that the poor don't know is that abundance leads to more abundance. When you open yourself up to possibilities, you're more likely to find them. Instead of seeing other people as competition, see them as potential partners or collaborators. This shift can change everything. If you start thinking there's more than enough to go around, you'll find that there really is. Let's move to the next topic. When we talk about big thinking versus small thinking, we're really talking about mindset. It's not just about setting goals, it's about how big or small you think when you set them. Let's be honest, it's a lot easier to play it safe, set tiny goals, and just do what's expected. That's small thinking. It keeps you in a comfort zone where everything feels secure. But you know what else? It also keeps you from reaching your full potential. Big thinking, on the other hand, is about dreaming beyond the boundaries. It's about saying, what if? And then going for it. It's like when you were a kid and you wanted to be an astronaut or a famous singer. Big thinking dares you to ask for more from life. It pushes you to take risks, try new things, and see failure as a stepping stone, not the end of the road. To get into the habit of big thinking, start by asking yourself, what's the biggest thing I could achieve in my life? It might feel a bit overwhelming, but that's okay. Now take that big goal and break it down into smaller steps. It's like climbing a mountain. You don't jump to the top in one leap. You take it one step at a time. The key is to challenge your own limitations and believe that you're capable of amazing things. It's not about being reckless, it's about being courageous and daring to think bigger. So what's stopping you? Start thinking big and watch how your world opens up. Now let's talk about one of the biggest roadblocks to financial success: inaction. It's that moment when you know you should do something, like start a budget, open a savings account, or begin investing, but you just don't. You think, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow keeps getting pushed back. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. Action is everything. Without it, your goals are just dreams. You could have the best plan in the world, but if you don't start moving, it's all for nothing. Think about a car sitting in the driveway. It might look great and have a full tank of gas, but until you turn the key and hit the road, it's just sitting there collecting dust. So how do you overcome inaction? One way is to set small, manageable tasks. Instead of saying, I need to save for retirement, start with, I'm going to set aside $50 this week. It's all about breaking it down into bite-sized pieces. When you complete a small task, it builds momentum, and that momentum can carry you to the bigger goals. Another tip? Create a deadline. If you have a date in mind, you're more likely to get things done. It's like setting an appointment with yourself. If it's in the calendar, you're more likely to follow through. And finally, accountability. Find a friend, a family member, or even a coworker who can check in with you. It's like having a gym buddy, but for your finances. When someone else is counting on you, it's a lot harder to skip out. So remember, action is the key to progress. Start small, set deadlines, and find someone to keep you on track. All right, let's talk about keeping your brain in the game, learning versus just standing still. You know, it's like when you're on a treadmill. If you stop moving, you're not getting anywhere, right? Same goes for your brain and your money game. So here's the deal. The rich people get that learning is like fuel for your financial journey. If you're not learning, you're kind of stuck in the same old place. Think about it like this. Imagine you're playing a video game. If you don't learn the moves and level up, you'll keep getting beaten by the same boss over and over again. No fun, right? But here's the cool part. Learning doesn't have to be boring or complicated. It's not about sitting in a stuffy classroom with a textbook. Nah, it's more like exploring new worlds and gaining superpowers. Okay, maybe not superpowers, but you get the idea. You can learn in all sorts of ways, reading books, watching videos, chatting with smart people, even playing money-related games. It's like having a whole toolbox of skills and strategies at your fingertips. And the more tools you have, the easier it is to tackle whatever life throws at you. Now here's the thing about money. It's always changing. New technologies, new trends, new opportunities. If you're not learning, you're going to get left behind. It's like trying to use a flip phone in a world of smartphones. You're just not going to keep up. So keep learning, keep growing. Treat your brain like a muscle, exercise it regularly, and it'll get stronger. And hey, who knows? Maybe one day you'll be the one sharing your success story with the world. Let's talk about being result-oriented versus effort-oriented. Have you ever heard the saying, work smarter, not harder? It's simple but powerful. Some people focus so much on putting in hours that they forget to look at what they're achieving. It's like being on a treadmill. You might be running, but you're not really getting anywhere. Being result-oriented means focusing on outcomes. It's about setting clear goals and then figuring out the most efficient way to get there. When you're effort-oriented, you might be busy all day, but you could be spinning your wheels on things that don't matter. It's like spending hours on a puzzle, but you're not even sure what the finished picture is supposed to look like. Take a chef, for example. If they're effort-oriented, they might spend hours chopping vegetables and perfecting every tiny detail. But if they're result-oriented, they focus on creating a fantastic dish in the shortest time possible. They know the goal is to serve a delicious meal, not just chop veggies all day. The key to being result-oriented is knowing what you want to achieve and having a plan to get there. It means measuring your progress and adjusting as needed. Sometimes it's okay to take shortcuts or delegate tasks if it gets you to your goal faster. The rich understand this. They focus on results, not just effort. So, if you want to achieve financial success, ask yourself, am I busy or am I productive? The answer can make all the difference. So, there you have it. The mindset divide. Secrets of the rich that the poor don't know. We've covered a lot today, from financial goal setting to mindset shifts. Remember, it's not just about having money, it's about adopting the right mindset and taking consistent action. If this video was beneficial to you, make sure to check out my follow-up video for a comprehensive understanding that builds on what you've just learned. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our channel. I appreciate your support and see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy financial and abundant life.